everybody, it's Tanisha.
Welcome to another episode of She Laughs.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Hey. Y'all, this week. So, if you haven't heard the latest, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio, who else?
It's like those are the only ones that I know. I know there's one more, but I can't think of who it is right now.
There is an abortion ban out. Yes, we're going to go ahead and delve on into it. And, y'all, all I can do is laugh at this ban. To really keep
from being extremely offended.
Yes. I understand why it happened. I don't agree with why it happened, and I definitely don't agree with this ban. It's and I know that might come to a shock to a couple of our listeners. You're a Christian. I've had someone write that on my post.
Yeah, you're a Christian. You're a Christian. You should be against abortion and the death of babies, is the thought. And here goes the thing. It's not necessarily being about, it's not it's not about being against the death of babies. It's about really understanding what this law is doing, how it is extremely unconstitutional to have a law against somebody's body.
Yes, Lord.
And their anatomy. And then just from a worldly standpoint, what this means for the United States. Religiously, your thought needs to be everyone has the grace to make their own choices and decisions.
Yes.
Because that's how it should be.
That's what the Bible states.
That's the life that you're able to live as a Christian. God loves you regardless. He allows you to make the choice, to accept Him, to accept the
gift that He gives.
Yeah, the gift that He gives, but also, what I was trying to say, He allows you to accept. When you're accepting Him, that means accepting the surrender of your life. That means accepting the values and the things that concern Him. But again, at the end of the day, you have choice. So that's what I'm not understanding, why a lot of Christians don't understand that. Again, you are using the fact that you don't like abortion and that it's murder as it's a top priority sin, when all sin is equal.
It's just sin.
Your sins that you hold in your closet are just as equal to someone having an abortion. Is it murder? Yes. But the point is, you have choice. And there are certain situations that call for even medical abortions that you all, I don't think you've seen it or done your research or really understand what happens in those instances where a doctor is calling for that.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us have this mentality, well, if it hasn't happened to me or anyone that I personally know, it doesn't affect. So it's out of sight, out of mind. A lot of people, I think, you don't even realize that is actually what it's called. Did you know actually giving birth is called an abortion? It actually is.
No, a lot of people don't know that.
Any type of birth or elimination, a miscarriage, is called an abortion. They just refer to them as different types of abortion. So one, you need to get your facts straight. because they call it that because your body is literally aborting something out of it. So giving birth, form of abortion. Having a miscarriage, form of abortion. Willfully getting rid of a pregnancy is a form of abortion. All of those. Some are needed, like T said, because of medical purposes, because a doctor has literally come in and said, and let me just give you my credentials on this because I am a health professional. So I do have some knowledge medically as to what we are talking about. There has been times because women sometimes will get pregnant. They might have fibroids that are in the way to where they physically cannot give birth to a child. Or they are putting their life and the child's life at risk. And so the doctor has said, hey, you need to go ahead. We're going to have to abort this pregnancy, try again later, or maybe not try at all. Because of the type of health concerns that you have. Some women have lupus, they have multiple sclerosis, and here they are living happily married lives, and then comes a pregnancy and the doctor is letting them know your body physically cannot handle a pregnancy. And there are
some women who don't go through with the abortion and actually successfully have a child. There are cases on both sides.
Yes.
So there is not an extreme.
No.
Nor should there be judgment to the woman who decides to go with the advice that the doctors are giving. That is what it boils down to. You all are so judgmental.
Yes, Lord.
Have you ever been in a situation where abortion is a possibility? Personally, myself, I don't agree with it. But also, I've never been in a situation where I've had to have that as an option.
Yes.
So though I don't agree, it is not a hard stop. Because I've never had to do it. Nor do I judge anyone that has. I don't know their situation. I don't know what they're going through mentally. I don't know if they had the support of family and friends to help them.
Yes.
There are so many factors that go into it that it can't be a one size fits all type of thing. It just can't.
And that is one of my biggest issues with this law, is that it is such a blanketed law that says you can't, period. I would have actually been okay if you had put stricter laws in that said, okay, not 6 weeks, but, we're not, stricter as in insurance. Well, insurance isn't going to cover it. This is something that you would want. Or if insurance does cover it, they cover it under certain things for medical purposes. Your doctor has stated that this has to be done in order to save your life. And so then insurance covers it just then. Or they increase the cost on it if you're wanting to do it outside of medical conditions.
Yeah. That Georgia already had in place where I think it was like 20 weeks, I want to say, was the cutoff. But for you to say 6, literally means you are now saying abortion is illegal, period. Because, again, let me say this, I'm trying to say this very nicely. You men who have an opinion on this, unless you are in the medical field and you know about anatomy, please be quiet. Because women, during your menstrual cycle, when you are pregnant, you usually don't find out until you're about anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks.
Yes.
Is when you find out you are pregnant.
Not only that, some women still have their whole entire period.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Some still have a cycle during the first trimester of their pregnancy. So they may never know anytime during that frame that they are with child.
There have been instances where people didn't know that they were pregnant until they were giving birth.
Yes.
And I know to you that might sound like
impossible.
Yeah.
No, it is medically possible. That does happen. The issue is a lot of women do not speak about it. But just because you don't hear about it doesn't mean it's never happened.
Yep.
It is totally medically possible.
I think my biggest issue, coming from a religious standpoint, and then I'll get into everything else later, why we decided to talk about this is because there is this thing going on in the church and it is running amok. This religious spirit is rampant in the church. T and I have talked about this when it comes to homosexuality. We have talked about this when it comes to various other things and things that people in the church deem repulsive. Abortion is definitely one of them. My take on it is this. Once again, that judgment that you have for others, you're not extending the grace that God has given you. Secondly, you willfully came to Christ. You need to extend that grace to others to willfully do the same. And if they do not choose to believe in the manner that you choose, that's none of your business. Quite frankly. To push, and I've been like this ever since I was a child, to push your morals and ideals off on someone else is wrong. Point blank, period. I don't care how right or convicted you feel you are. To push your morals and ideals off on someone else is quite frankly wrong. That is what you call a zealot type of a person who feels that they have the authority to dictate how other people should live, and how other people should worship, who other people should worship. I don't understand how you can wrap your mind around it. One woman put it, well, we have sinned before God. And I really wanted to tell her, okay, I get what you're trying to say. Here's the thing. He is your God. That does not mean that he is the lady standing beside you, God. She may worship someone completely different. So has she really sinned against your God? Because she don't believe in your God. And the way that you are going about this, why would she want to believe?
No, she wouldn't want to believe in the God that you say that you know and serve.
Because he sounds like a dictator.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound loving. He doesn't sound graceful. He does not sound welcoming as someone who would want to be your father. He doesn't sound like the shepherd that goes after the one and leaving the many behind.
He doesn't sound like the one that stands at the door and knocks. Again, these are things we were saying that are in the Bible. The Bible describes him perfectly.
Yes.
As the one who stands at the door and knocks.
But here's my other issue. Okay, y'all are saying, well, God wouldn't murder the children. Yes, he has.
What?
Oh, y'all didn't think I was going to bring that up. Yes, he has. That's in the Bible. When he asked Joshua to go into the promised land and take out the Amalekites, the Ammonites, he said, kill everyone, women and children. Even the cattle could not live.
Yep. Everything had to go. Everything had to go.
This is the type of double-mindedness that I really need y'all to wake up and understand that you are having. I get it. I do not want to see a baby pass away. I do not want to see anything happen to a child. That is just, I wouldn't want to do it. They are so innocent and so pure. And God says, come to me as little children, which a lot of y'all do not. Let's just call a thing a thing. But he also called for the murder of women and children in the Bible. That includes babies.
Yeah.
So am I condoning abortion? No. I definitely myself, I would like to say if I was in that position, I would say no. I wouldn't do it. And I'll be honest, I would say I would not do it for what I consider a reason as, well, we just can't afford it. For me. Other people have been in that situation and they are like, no, because if we have another one, we are barely making it.
Somebody's not going to be able to eat.
Someone's not going to be able to. I sympathize and my heart goes out to you because those are real conversations that people in this society are having to deal with. But for me, I know I would like to say I wouldn't. But I can't say that for sure until I get myself in that position. The real issue is you have now given with y'all's, oh goodness. One of the main things that we have always been proud of in this country is religious freedom, the separation of church and state, to worship in peace, how we choose, if we choose, when we choose, in the manner in which we choose. That separation, guys, is gone. It is no longer. And what has now happened is you have literally, because this really is a religious law. That's really what it boils down to. It is nothing more than that, which has now gone into effect. And really my body and the thousands of women who now live in these states have now become slaves to the state. They have a right to say what I do with my body. And if I go outside of this state and commit an abortion act, I am then considered a felon. That is what you're not getting. It is a felony once you cross state lines, which means I am sent to a federal penitentiary to face federal charges for an abortion that might, if hadn't have happened, taken my life. This is what you're sentencing some of these children, because let's be honest, some of our young girls are being raped daily in their homes.
Yes.
And
so
they're
you're going to force them the traumatic experience of childbirth at the age of 9, 10, and 11.
Which is already happening in Ohio. A child was raped at 11 and her rapist now has child custody over her child. But you said we care about the children. Do you?
Not really. I mean, what they're not taking into consideration is the foster care system. It's already jacked. It's underfunded. So now you're going to flood it. Yes, you're becoming a dictatorship. Like other countries who have said, like China, who have cut down the amount of children that can be birthed.
Yep, they went the opposite way. We're overpopulated. You have more than 2, they're going to die.
Yes.
We're going to kill them.
There's no difference. You're taking away choice. And that is the main thing that we have is choice.
And free will.
God does not force anything on you. He does not force himself on you. You have choice. Even once you actually choose him, you still have the choice to change your mind. You have the option to change your mind and to not follow anything that he wants you to do. And we would rather sit in judgment because somebody does something we don't agree with.
Yep.
And we attach God to it. Well, he wouldn't want you. Sure, he wouldn't. But this is not how he would go about it. This is not how he'd go about it. And he most definitely wouldn't say it with such disgusting,
disdain,
vile disdain for somebody. Because some of you sound so ugly.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to know who you call your God. I wouldn't want to know him. Because all I hear is judgment. And you shouldn't. And how dare you?
Judgment and condemnation. And y'all need to really read your Bibles about that, because he talks about you who sit in the judge's seat.
Be prepared.
So I think you have more to be concerned about in these end days than you realize. Guys, y'all, we have got to do better as Christians. If you're going to wear that label, understand the God you are really serving. Because he extends grace to you every day. Single day.
And to you, the small things you do are small. Doesn't matter. He doesn't give them a size. You do. He forgives you regardless. The days you ignored him and he tried to speak to you. He forgives. And doesn't hold you to whatever emotions were binding you that day.
No. My heart truly goes out to the women of this country, especially the women in these states, myself included. I almost wish I hadn't moved back to Georgia because of this. This is definitely, I laugh because it's so terrifying.
Yeah.
It really is. And you guys don't get how vile, aggressive this law is, and what precedent it is setting for future laws. Be prepared. We are definitely in the end times. Govern yourselves accordingly. That's all I have to say now on this issue.
That's it.
No funny little quirks. I am literally disgusted. I'm disgusted. Don't love you any less, but I'm disgusted. And if we're honest, the writing's been on the wall.
Yeah, for a while.
The writing has been on the wall. So ladies, and men with this religious mindset, if you voted for this bill, I'm sending up a special prayer for you, because you know not what you do.
Not at all.
Or maybe you do, and then I'm sending up a very special prayer, because, whew, child, that, what's the word I want to say? You'll reap what you sow. You will definitely reap what you sow. T, where can they find you?
Facebook is Tanisha Williams. Instagram is Styles by Tanisha J.
And as always, guys, you can find me on Facebook, Charmaine Kierce, and Instagram, Charmaine Kierce as well. Until next time, guys.
We will be hearing from you.
Be safe out there.
Yeah.